Mark Mothersbaugh. If you aren't familiar with the name, it's highly likely that you know the work of his band, Devo. The new wave group found fame in the 80s with its single Whip It. And while an accomplished musician, the Ohio native is also a prolific visual artist. His extensive body of work, drawings, paintings, sculptures, films, woven rugs, photography, and of course music, was curated by Museum of Contemporary Art Denver director Adam Lerner in an exhibit titled Myopia. We met up with Lerner and Mothersbaugh to discuss the details of this, his first retrospective.
I always considered myself first and foremost a visual artist.
That's right. Devo frontman Mark Mothersbaugh thinks of himself as a visual artist and then a musician. The Museum of Contemporary Art in Denver is helping to make that case to the public in its exhibit Myopia.
This exhibition tells the story for the first time of Mark Mothersbaugh as an artist who has consistently, from the earliest days as an art student, had a very specific vision that he sort of started to realize in the 1970s and then through Devo into the present day.
I think it's so exciting too how the 2 points have always run parallel for Mark. He's always creating music, he's always creating visual art. You're bringing them together. Why do you think that someone hasn't thought of it before?
People have not really understood Mark Mothersbaugh as an artist. It's partly because of the bias of our culture. You're either a visual artist or you're a musician, but our culture really doesn't understand very well people who are these hybrid characters.
But Mothersbaugh has never been much concerned with labels or conformity. Created and refined over 40 years, his artistic expression includes filmmaking, painting, sculpture, woven rugs, and drawing. The exhibit itself fills the entirety of MCA Denver's 27,000 square feet.
When Adam approached me about organizing the show, it was kind of interesting for me to get to look back and see how little I'd done with my life.
When you step into your studio to create, how does your process begin?
I don't know. For me, I can go into my studio, or I can pick up a piece of paper, or I can sit at a keyboard or a guitar, and it all is the same to me. It's like I let something come out, and I can't prejudge it. You can do some modification to it as you're doing it, and you could say, you know what, I should at least sing it one more time so it's in tune, or maybe it's better out of tune, you know, and you make those decisions as you're going, but at a certain point you just finish whatever you're doing and you just have to let go of it. It just is what it is.
The postcard work, which has started for you as a very deeply personal expression, right?
Right.
At what point did you decide you were at a point where you felt you were comfortable sharing something that was so private?
Well, every now and then I'd take images out of that collection and they would turn into a graphic for Devo, for instance. And then about 15 or 20 years ago, when I started doing gallery shows again, I would go through and pick out specific images that I would turn into screen prints, or I would turn into a painting. I don't go back and look at them. Most of the time I do them and I just file it away and I'm on to whatever I'm doing that day. So this has given me the opportunity to look at things that I hadn't looked at for a long time.
The exhibit, of course, also features music, but it shows Devo as much more than 5 dudes jamming in red plastic hats.
Devo itself was so much more. It was an art project that was multimedia, it was literary, it was film, it was costuming, it was performance. It was never meant to be just a band.
To illustrate that, 3 sections are devoted to Devo. The band was born in part out of Mothersbaugh and Jerry Casale's reaction to the 1970 Kent State Massacre, which occurred while they were students there.
What we took away from that was that the way you change things isn't through rebellion in a capitalistic country. You change it through influence and subversion, and you do it like Burger King does it or Madison Avenue does it.
But Mothersbaugh swapped cheeseburgers and high fashion for things that he wanted to peddle: music and art.
They've both kind of gone in tandem, and when I was at school, I didn't see a difference between visual and audio art, and Even when I started a band, we designed all the album covers, all of our outfits, all of our stage, all of our films that we made, all of our graphics. We did all the graphics ourselves, and we were always together.
In many ways, his work is inspiring and should encourage people to find their own creative individual voice in a world that's dominated by technology, in a world that's dominated by consumerism and mass production.
What's great about art is it's so all-encompassing, and it's not just one thing. Art is a state of mind. Art is part of your spirit and part of the world, and art is there to inform and to inspire and to console. Art has everything that someone could need, possibly, except for food and a credit card. And sometimes it has that for some people, but